So now we're going to do a full mock of just the first round, guys. We're not going to do all 7 because we're going to, if you notice, they're all highlighted here. We're going to do every single team here, every single pick for that first round. So, all right, let's go with it. Pick 1, Tennessee Titans.
Cam Ward.
I think it's safe to say Cam Ward. We don't have to do a discussion on this, do we?
Yeah.
Done. Boom. Okay. Pick number 2.
Abdul Carter.
The Cleveland Browns. I'm with you, Abdul Carter, 100%. I think that's where they're going. I think this was the discussion how they got able to keep, Myles Garrett happy, along with giving him, a boatload of cash. A boatload of cash.
Yeah.
Does
here is
to help
a boatload of cash.
Let's see here.
They literally had Deshaun Watson walk it out butt first.
Poop. Okay. Number 3. New York Giants.
Sanders.
We're going Shedeur Sanders. We're doing it.
Yep.
And that means
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter falls into the lap of the New England Patriots.
It's where it starts getting a little interesting.
It does, because now you got the Jaguars. And, you look at what the Jaguars need. They need more help on defense, they need offense. Let's be honest here. They've gotten a lot of help over the years on offense. I don't think they passed up Mason Graham personally.
I'm like in the air.
Josh Allen Hines. They got, Walker. They got a couple of decent pass rushers. Now you add a guy in the middle that can push the pocket, and that helps those guys a lot.
I think they doubled down that Goldilocks is a quarterback, and that I think they're going to Will Campbell to and help protect that line.
I mean, here's the problem: is they need offensive tackle. Do you think Campbell can play tackle? They don't really need guard as much.
I mean, it is the Jaguars organization, so I mean,
all right. So Will Campbell or Mason Graham, first person to put a comment up, goes ahead and gets to make the pick. We got 5 seconds here. If not, there's a different tiebreaker we're to come up with here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No one has any thoughts on that one. So tiebreaker goes to the skull. Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors. We're doing it.
I was going to do a flip a coin.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock,
paper, scissors. Says shoot. Oh, you win. Will Campbell it is. This is how good we are at mock drafting. We use rock, paper, scissors for tiebreakers. All right. You got the Las Vegas Raiders. So
I think they go gently.
I think they go Genty as well. I think Ashton Genty is going here.
Yep.
The Jets.
I think Graham goes off the board.
I don't think he does. They need so much offensive line help. It's not even funny. I think Mbu goes right here.
Actually, you're probably right, because they do like to keep a solid defense. That's been their thing. They had a pretty good defense last year, but if you're getting rid of Aaron Rodgers' new regime, you're probably right. Let's go.
There we go. Armand Mbu. All right. Then you got the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Panthers do need a lot of help. Let's be very frank here.
That's a
not trying to be mean about it. Like, it's pretty obvious that we also need a lot of help. I feel like they want to really help Bryce Young. And I feel like Tet is what they would do. Tet McMillan at a wide receiver at Arizona. I feel like they try to give him a weapon. Like, they've tried to give him weapons. They just haven't necessarily gotten the right guys, like Bavarius Mingo, for example. I know John, if he was here, he'd be going, Mingo, but he was never good. So, yeah, I think Tet McMillan's where they go.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to give a toy to the guy that just got your face back?
You're trying to support him. You're trying to support him. That's what I feel like. All right. Now you got the New Orleans Saints. Nolans Saints. Now, they just lost.
I said they lost a good
both their starting corners, basically, in the last year. They traded one away midseason. They obviously lost one to us in free agency. Will Johnson is sitting there. There's all kinds of rumors of them at quarterback. I think they'll get a quarterback later on and try to develop him. They may be tempted by Stewart of Texas A&M because they do need an edge rusher as well. But I think it's going to be hard for them to pass up on literally the best corner, in my eyes, the best corner in the entire draft. In
I
Will
think it's the
Johnson.
move. I think
Yep.
it's the move, hands down. I was literally saying when you said it too.
When you're a corner, hands up.
I just raised the roof on you.
Oh my gosh. All righty. Will Johnson it is. Number 10. We got the Bears.
Oh, yeah,
Bears.
Who's projected to go first round in the second round? First pick round. That's where they go.
But I feel like the thing that they've needed more than anything is help with the offensive line. They've done a lot of help on the offensive line, don't get me wrong. But this is a team that likes to load up help in the same exact area. You know what I'm saying?
Throw a lot of personnel, not the best.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Kelvin Banks Jr. goes here.
Yeah, I was thinking either him or Tyler Warren because I could see him trying to get some help in the tight end position as well, give some new weapons.
Yeah, I could, and he's dropping big time. But I feel like people thought he would go early. The Jets were the one team I thought about with him, but they need offensive line help so bad.
Yeah, same with the Bears. So, Banks? Let's go Banks Jr.
We're banking it. Okay. You got the San Francisco 49ers who are sitting there doing a dance like you would not believe, a happy dance, because Mason Graham is sitting there.
Yep.
And they need to retool this defensive line.
Make a live.
Mason Graham for the Niners.
Mason Graham. Dun.
All righty. The Dallas Cowboys.
The Tyler Warren. It's just boneheads like that. Let's go tight end every round.
They don't need him. That's the thing. They
didn't need Ferguson when they got him, but look what they did.
I mean, I think they would have loved to have the option of getting Genty here. If Tet was still available, they would be happy beyond belief as well. I think they're going to go with those guys are gone. They're going to go with Stewart at the edge out of Texas A&M.
Yeah, I can see that.
They lost like all their pass rushers the last couple of years. Basically, it feels like, So let's go with it. All right, the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh, the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
They need a lot of help.
They do need a lot of help. And what's crazy is I feel like, again, we're sitting here with Tyler Warren on the board. And I'm like, this is a team that needs offensive line help badly. This is a team that needs defensive line help. And guess what's not there on the board, really? Defensive line and offensive line. Like, they're like just missing the trenches, basically.
Yeah.
But their defense was much more solid last year. Their offense is all dependent on what their quarterback can do as far as standing upright. I feel like it'd be a Dolphin move to a certain degree to go ahead and get the top tight end to say, "Oh, he fell to us. We couldn't pass it up." Like, we love getting offensive weapons. Like,
I was literally gonna say that. Like, they don't have a big tight end guy over there right now.
Well, they got Jonnu Smith, but I mean, he's not exactly young anymore.
Yeah. But you bring a guy like this, and you're like, "Hey, listen, we got a shiny new weapon, and we helped that line."
But that's the problem I run into. Like, Jonnu Smith, he's not exactly young, but he's 29. He's not old. He had almost 900 yards receiving last year. And that's where my thing stops me. I feel like if most teams were sitting there going, you know what, we can't pass on this guy. But could you pass on him when you got a guy who's already doing almost 900 yards receiving last year? 88 catches, 884 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's the stats from last year, Jonnu Smith. But that's also, by the way, his best year by far. Like, that's where I run into that problem.
I don't think it's a repeat year for him. Like I hate to say it, you also had some injuries in that offense that is not going to be a problem going forward. Well, not at the opening of the season, so you're probably going to make some moves. You also got your 2 running backs coming back, so it does
The other option is Derek Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon. I mean, they need defensive tackle help. That's for sure.
I think it's a Dolphins move to get Taylor Warren right now.
It is. I don't know. I'm just wondering, are they going to do the right thing? Because honestly, the right thing to be take Harmon.
It would be. But are we talking about what we would choose for them, or are we talking about what they would choose for themselves?
Going for it. We're going Warren.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing a Dolphin move here. Who needs an offensive line when I got 5 tight ends?
Yeah, that's it. Line them all up. Fine.
All righty. Then you got the Colts. Now the Colts need offensive line help, defensive they need tight end help, they need linebacker, and they need quarterback, according to Pro Football Network, at least here. Now, I do think they would love to get a tight end here. I think they would have been tickled pink, to put it nicely, to have Tyler Warren sitting there for them at pick 14, because you got Daniel Jones at that point and Anthony Richardson. Like, having a security blanket like that would be nice for them. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
I think they pivot and they go with Colston Loveland, who is, again, another first round pick caliber tight end, clear number 2. Like, they're going to be kicking themselves for just missing, I feel like.
Yeah, I would go with it, because that's definitely a move, because you got 2 mobile quarterbacks that love to trust tight end.
Yeah, and one with a ridiculously low completion percentage.
Yeah.
All righty. We got the Falcons here now. So the Falcons
quarterback.
Oh my God. It's just, I feel like the Falcons, like, they need their defense took a big step back last year, guys. Big step back. I know you didn't notice it against the Giants game because we suck, but it took a big step back. Their offense was not the problem for the most part, except when Kirk Cousins forgot what team he's played for and did his best Jameis Winston impersonation. Yeah. But, I look at this team and I go, okay, they could get a wide receiver, and I think that'd be a good move for them. The only wide receiver that's people are really talking about there is, I feel like it's Matthew Golden, who we didn't like personally when we did our checkup on the players there. So I would go defense at that point there. And
you would, but historically speaking, what have they drafted the past few years?
Quarterbacks and things they don't need. That's for damn sure.
First round, what did you get? London in the first round, right? You also got Kyle Pitts.
Well, they got Bijan Robinson after they had a 1,000-yard rusher the year before as a rookie. They got Kirk Cousins. Then they go ahead and get Michael Penix Jr.
Just proving my point. They like going offensive heavy in the first round.
But they also know what I'm saying. They also don't draft with common sense. So yeah, Matthew Golden it is.
Yeah,
that'd be as unsensible as there is. All righty. Then you got the Arizona Cardinals, who I 100% think will get defense.
Yeah,
you got pretty defensive guys pretty much across the board here going here. I think they need more upfront help than linebacker help per se. I'm gonna go with Derek Harmon. I think, keep in mind they got the old defensive coordinator from the Eagles, and what did he do? He loaded up the line. He kept on flipping people in and out for pass rush, including defensive tackle. I think Harmon's a good fit for him.
I think so. I think you're right.
Done. Bengals.
Dunzo.
You know what? They need another wide receiver. No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, let's be honest. They need 100% an edge rusher here. They're going to lose the one they got because he wants money, and they have no more money left because they paid $70 million to 3 players. So Mike Green, edge, Marshall, or Williams, the edge out of Georgia. That's your options. I'd say Green.
Yep, I would go Green.
Green it is. Seahawks.
Let's go. Caca.
All right. So this is a team that, quite frankly, got blasted nonstop for how bad their offensive line was the entire season. So I'm going to say they just take the best offensive lineman available. You got Tyler Booker, the guard out of Alabama. You got Josh Simmons, who is remember we talked about him, the tackle out of Ohio State that got injured. He's coming off a major injury. That's something they probably would be the tiebreaker for them, and they'll take Booker.
Yeah, I agree.
Done. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm telling you right now, being somebody who lives in the Tampa Bay area, 100% they're going to go corner. They're going to go bear in the corner out of Texas.
Good enough. I thought they were going defense last year, so this year anyway. So I thought for sure edge, linebacker, corner. So
done. All right, and there's John chiming in. Now that we're done blasting his love of Mingo.
Mingo,
right.
Stinko.
Now you got the Denver Broncos. Now, to need a linebacker, you got Walker sitting there. He's a steal at number 20. So I definitely think that's where they would go personally.
Yeah.
I mean, other spots they need running back, wide receiver, tight ends. I mean, those were all taken already at this point. So, yeah, I'm going Jalen Walker, Georgia.
Yeah.
Not to confuse with Texas Ranger.
Ooh,
done. Steelers. They need a lot of help here, guys. A lot of help. Because they're going to do something crazy.
They're going to pay.
They're going to go Jackson Dart.
You know what? You're not wrong, because with all the drama going on with Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
It's not just that. He's 41, 42. Like, you got Mason Rudolph behind him, and that's it. I mean,
they're going to be a team that drafts 2 this year.
Yep. Jackson Dart going to the first round after all. All right. Now you got the Chargers.
The Chargers.
And again, I feel bad to a certain degree because I feel like a lot of these teams need help at like offensive skill positions, and they're not there early. So you have to kind of go with what you can get your hands on later on, so to speak, there, and kind of just do what you can do. You know, you look at what they do. They're a defensive-minded team now. They got Harbaugh there. They're a running team now. They got Harbaugh there as well. You know, offensive line is not so bad there. They do need a center. Do they go Zabel and try to make him a center? You know, do they just go for a BPA? You know, this is more of a tough one because I know what they need, and what they need is not there. And I'm not going to – we already did one reach pick by having the Steelers take Jackson Dart a moment ago. Like, let's be honest.
I mean,
that's a reach pick. I mean, other option you can do is get Williams, the kid out of Georgia.
I was about to say Williams because they you know, they'll set the edge with him.
Well, you know, you got Khalil Mack, but you're probably not going to have him at another year.
Yeah. Either that or Campbell. But
I think I'm just going to go Williams, and they just go here's Mack's replacement when he retires next year, because I think this is probably his last year.
And listen, you draft the guy in the first round. Hopefully, you know, your top, edge guy helps set the edge on him, if you will.
Yep. All righty, we're done. All right, Green Bay. Now,
those cheeseheads,
so cheesy.
Extra cheesy, chalupa.
Here's another team that needs things that aren't as much available. You know, they need edge rushers. They just lost one of the bigger ones there. That's what they list. They list corner, which are there no more corners left available that worthy for first round. Wide receiver, you know, Emeka is there, but I think it's a little early for him. Keep him Ohio State. Defensive tackle, linebacker. I mean, you got those options at that point. You got Campbell. You know, you could go ahead and do, you know, but is that big of a need that you want to go that early.
Yeah.
And that's my issue with that because, they lucked out and get Edgerrin Cooper, who point blank we didn't like because of the attitude issues you heard about Kevin Rumble about in the draft, but he had a great year for them last year. You got the issues at corner, obviously. Jared Alexander, about him going, but again, there's no decent corner there available. They obviously don't need a safety. They took ours.
Yeah. I think they might go down to Pierce Jr. The edge.
Honestly, I was wondering Walter Nolan, defensive tackle at Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah, Ole Miss. They like Ole Miss over there, so yeah, let's go that.
Let's go. There we go. The Vikings. Guess what they need? A safety. Guess what's here? The top safety on the board is Starks.
There you go.
Done. Match in heaven right there. All righty. The Texans. Texans need offensive line help like crazy. Gray Zabel's got to be the pick because you can literally plug him anywhere you want him. Again, Josh Simmons is there. You could go that route. They did just trade Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
That's the other option. I mean, I don't know. That's the one thing that's going to have me a little perplexed there.
Zibble, I mean, I guess
you just gave up a left tackle. Your offensive line is poop, and it's all going to depend on the medicals for Josh Simmons. Do you want to pretend he has medical issues that are cleared, or we want to pretend they're bad? And it goes Zabel. Because let's be honest, the guy who can play left tackle is much more important than the guy who can play somewhere in the interior offensive line.
Yeah, I think especially
so we want to just pretend he's got good medicals?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, let's go with it.
Yeah.
Let's go with it then. All righty. LA Rams, who probably have like the youngest defense basically in the entire league.
Just bad.
Yeah, they need linebacker help. Jahad Campbell, I feel like out of Alabama, perfect fit there. Keep shoring up that young defense.
Yeah, let's go there. Just look at
Done.
it. Yeah.
All right. The Baltimore Ravens lost Kevin Zeitler. Fits very well in there. Gray Zabel.
There we go.
Done. Boom. All righty. Now you got the Detroit Lions. 28. I feel like the Detroit Lions really realized that they don't have many edge rushers.
Yeah, they need edge and some of the stretches on defense. So
I mean, personally, I'd go with Scorton, the edge out of Texas A&M. Try to get another edge rush in there. Know that if something happens with Hutchinson, they're not screwed again.
Yeah.
Done. Washington. We're just going to skip them.
Yeah, they forfeit their pick.
Oh my gosh. So they're gonna go defense, I feel like. They already picked up Debo, so they're not gonna look at getting that second wide receiver like before that trade I would have said they would do. So this is where I think Pierce Jr. goes, the guy you were talking about before, James Pierce Jr., edge out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn just loves his pass rushers.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go.
Buffalo.
Good old Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Great chicken.
Buffalo.
Great Warriors.
Now, this is a team that basically needs to work on this defense. This defense definitely got a little weaker the last couple of years. Listen, you got Josh Allen. You're pretty much set on offense. Not to be a jerk about it.
Yeah.
There's certain quarterbacks that are good enough. They just make the offense good around them. I feel like he does fit that category.
He was definitely a Winter Soldier last year.
Yeah. You got a couple of offensive weapons here. Emeka out of Ohio State is a wide receiver. Luther Burden, the guy who was really good in 23, and at Missouri, not so good this past year. You got Hampton, but you don't need another running back. You already got a good one there. I'm looking at it, and obviously I'd go with Tyreek Williams, the
I was
defensive
literally
tackle at
about to
Ohio
say
State.
Tyreek Williams or the safety out of South Carolina, but I would
I just
go.
don't think that's as big an issue for them right now with safety. I
No,
feel like they need to beef up that defensive line. So,
100%. I
all right,
I agree. I just had to
done.
say something different because I was
You
literally about to say
concur.
Williams.
You concur.
I said good
All
day.
right. Good day to you, sir. All right. Now we go into Kansas City. Kansas City, here we go. Oh, yes, I went there.
Oh,
Um, so now you go into it with a team that needs help. It sounds weird to say this of Patrick Mahomes, but Mahomes is doing it himself and needs some help. Plus, on top of that, you're going to lose Travis Kelce here soon. You know, you're gonna need a little help there. And I feel like this is a chance to get a weapon cheap. You know,
you're either gonna go offensive line because they like to take one every year, pretty early, but you have more receivers up on the board now before they have to go snake back around. So
well,
I think you're looking more of like
I honestly think that Mecca is where I would go. They need a wide receiver. They let DeAndre Hopkins go in free agency. They would trade for him midseason. They knew how bad their wide receivers room was. Then they trade for him. Then they lose him. They do need offensive line help. Don't get me wrong, that we know. But I feel like that's going to be like a second round move for them at that point. The only one even coming up right now on the board on the first couple picks here is Donovan Jackson, who I think is a second round pick guy.
Yeah.
You with me, Anameka?
Yeah.
Done. The Eagles, they get a bag of poop.
On fire.
A bag of poop. Now, let's see. Let's try to do this honestly.
I mean, they got two old corners that
well, they got rid of one of the old corners now, and they drafted a bunch of young corners last year, so they're good on corners.
True.
I mean,
very
they got they got two of the best in the draft last year. They got Ringo a couple of years ago. I don't think corner is don't get me wrong. They could add some back end ones later on, but I don't think it's like their big need right now per se. I do think they would love to get another pass rusher, though I don't really see much of one right now. They probably wouldn't mind getting a guard to go ahead and replace Mekhi Becton and get somebody else to build up on that line. And I just said a minute ago that Jackson's more of a second round pick. And I'm not even just saying this because I'm a jerk. But I wonder Donovan Jackson. I mean, he's a legit guard with years of experience in one of the best schools in the country.
And I definitely think they're going to be redoing the trenches. So, like, I would be up in the air. Like, it could be Jackson. It could be Grant out of Michigan. Yeah.
That's true.
Because, obviously they proved.
I would take Kenneth Grant then over anybody else but Jackson personally. Like I said, I'm just looking at replacing an actual need because of who they lost in free agency. But if I had to pick based on talent, I would say Grant is a better person.
I think they would go Grant because we know how the Eagles have been in the past decade. They've been drafting not 100% off of necessity, but like the backup to their necessities.
So I think that the Eagles should select
Silo Sanders,
Aaron Miller, edge at a Benedict College, ranked number 700 on the big board here. Oh my God, could you imagine? Be hilarious. Oh no, I almost hit the button. I almost did draft it back. I was hoping to skip all that and be able to go right back up. But no, okay. So we got Grant, we got Jackson. Where you want to go?
I'm going defense.
Okay. Jalen Milroe it is. All right. So there we go. There's our full mock draft for the first round. Like I said, I think overall, let's be honest, it's probably not going to be anything like this at all because there's going to be so many trades and different stuff like that's going to happen. But I think it's a good exercise, at least in seeing what teams need, where the dice may fall, who might be available in the range where different teams are going to be picking at. Because let's be honest here, while we may not be 100% accurate on what's going to happen here because nobody ever is in these mocks, again, you go, okay, well, who might the Chargers select? Okay, who's going to be available? And you can kind of see in this kind of exercise who might be available for them to select. So it gives you at least a little better idea what's going to happen there that first night of the draft, which, again, keep in mind, guys, we will be literally live the entire first and second night of the draft. Literally every single pick. We may also be pitching some mugs and some cups, so that way we don't have anybody like Jay saying he didn't know about them.
Here's to you, Jay.
Yeah. Since Jay likes to say he didn't know them at all. Gotta pick on him a little bit there, especially since Deb said she did see them as well. Because she said, not that I'm biased, but the mugs were there. Deb to the rescue as always.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, guys, I'm looking forward to this draft though. I love the draft nights. They're fun. For us, they're kind of exhausting at this point because we're here so many hours doing it. But I know Rob was talking about taking off that Friday night, Friday work there because of that. But yeah, that's not an option for me, unfortunately. But like I said, it's going to be a couple fun nights, guys. So if you haven't already, mark your calendars for it. We'll definitely, like I said, be live both those first two nights. We're going to be probably just on a Sunday, kind of do a wrap up and go over the day 3 picks there for you guys. Because let's be honest here, some of the guys we select, especially in the 7th round pick, should be guys we may want to do a little research on. We don't want to tell you, oh, we heard they're taking a running back. Oh, we never heard of this running back before from East Poly Christian Technical University of Abilene. Like, we want to actually be able to give you guys legit scouting reports on these guys. So be a little patient with us on that. 24th of April, by the way, guys, if you're setting your calendars, that's the day to do it for. That's the first
8
night.
p.m.
Yep. So we'll be on there. Oh yeah, it is 8 p.m., isn't it? We're gonna be in early even. Oh, we're on like 5 hours that day. It feels like by the time it's over.
There's the intermission nap time, guys.
Let's go into the lobby.
Buy some beer.
Oh yes,
for the live show.
Or whiskey.
Ooh.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.